Yeah, sure. Hi, Renee. Just firstly, any team news, whether there's any differences from the squad last weekend?
Frida Manum has been ill in the week, so we don't expect her to be able to play tomorrow. Leah has been managing some problems with her hamstring, so don't expect her to be ready for tomorrow, but otherwise the same. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about Olivia Smith. Watched the game back last week, and I don't know, this is difficult to quantify, but I think sometimes you watch a player and you could always see the talent, but sometimes you really, when a new player comes in, you get a sense that they're really starting to become part of the team. And I wonder whether you're getting that feeling as well. And also, I feel like that little spell at striker maybe helped her a little bit as well to develop some of those relationships.
That's really interesting. I think if you look at Olivia Smith, we're so happy she joined us because she's taking us to the next level. She's contributing with new skills, and you always have to, when you go to a new club, new environment, you have to get to know new people, new methodologies, partnerships on the pitch, getting used to ideas. At the start you might be a lot in thinking mode, and then at some point that's not so much thinking anymore, that's actions without thinking, and I think that's where Liv is at the moment. So we're really happy with that. We knew it was going to take some time for new players to adjust to our environment, but if you look at the impact that she's had from the start of season, it was there from the start. But I think she's really finding her feet now. Players understand her. We play each other to each other's strengths. We understand her. We have seen different sides of her as well. Like you said, we've asked her to play in different roles, also in the 9, left, right side. Different things we ask her to do, looking at where her qualities are and trying to put her in those positions as much as possible. So we have been learning as well during the season, and I think that's a beautiful side of it, that we bring Liv as a wide forward, wide, really good in 1v1 moments. If you saw the way she played for Liverpool, but there's so many other sides to her game which we're now exploring and trying to put into the team in the best way possible. So now she's been brilliant, and I'm happy that she's performing well. It's credit to her and the hard work, but also credit to the team.
And you know, the other thing that really jumped out at me about her performance watching the game back was how many times she went and won possession back, how many times she chased lost causes and things like that. And I wondered how much you've coached her to do that, or how much that's a really natural part of her game.
I think that's quite natural to her, and that's of course what we liked about her as well. Bringing Liv in, it's not only the qualities that she has on the ball and her athleticism, it's also the hard work that she's willing to put in out of possession work. So in our press, discipline in mid and low block, but also in the counter pressure. And her intent to do that and humility to do that in combination with her physical qualities, her being so explosive and quick, makes her a very successful counter presser, and she's done that really well. You could see it in the London City game. She had a lot of counter pressure regains.
And kind of staying with that theme, Arsenal's defensive record across the whole season has been really strong. It's really, really strong at the moment, all the underlying metrics as well. I keep noticing it's usually the first thing you mention in a post-match press conference, which suggests to me you really value it, and it makes me wonder how much, you know, keeping a clean sheet, how much that's a mental thing as well as a tactical thing for you, an attitude for your players.
Yeah, it's a lot about that, and I think the way the analysts and the coaching staff are putting game plans together, how that relates to our game model and the identity that we want to play with. It's been at a very high level. It's with input from the players. It's with high buy-in from the players. So they have high motivation to execute their roles because they see the benefits and the rewards. So it's been a growing process. I think you've seen it last season as well. And it's at a very high level at the moment. But we also know if we don't keep our standards high and keep on stacking standards, then it will slip. So we have to stay at this level, and we have to stay with our humble actions that we're doing really well at the moment.
And just a final one, you know, this fixture last season, you know, I look at West Ham and I look at their attackers, and even without Guecki, who I think is a brilliant player, you know, players like Shakira Martinez, Asai, who could play for anyone in the WSL, I think. And last season they caused a bit of a problem in transition in this fixture. How much is managing their threat going to be a real focus for Saturday?
Yeah, that's a big part of the game plan, because we know what they can bring with really hard work, with hold up play, with runs in behind, with dribbles. So we'll have to be really disciplined when we defend. So that's one part of the game. The other parts are the transitions, so both attacking and defending transitions. And we also expect West Ham to come out disciplined. They got reward for their hard work against United. They kept spaces really small. They defended as a unit all together. So if they do that against us as well at the Emirates tomorrow, then we'll have to be prepared to break them down, and they won't make it easy for us. So there's different sides to the game tomorrow, but definitely managing Martinez and Isai up top.
Great. Hi Renee, you've got 3 games at the Emirates this week, hopefully all in sunshine as well. You're still unbeaten at home, sort of as Arsenal manager. How proud are you of that record, and what's been the key to that? And I guess how proud of the squad and your staff as well? Yeah,
it's exactly that. I think we do things so much together with high autonomy for staff and players to work and to express themselves, and there's a big humility in the way we do things. We're very reflective. We wanna find the small margins constantly, and like Tim just mentioned, the defending side of the game is a very important side for us. We pride ourselves on the art of defending. We think it's beautiful. Even though I'm Dutch, I love to be on the ball, and I think we are the team in the league that, one of the top teams with the most possession in the league. But out of possession work, I think when I moved to Sweden and then coming here, and the way we do things now, I really love it. It's an art, and it's beautiful for us. So we love that side of the game as well. We see the rewards and the benefits, but it's definitely a collective effort of staff and players.
In terms of playing at the Emirates, I had a look at West Ham's attendances, sort of their home and away games. The biggest crowd they've played in front of this season was in the reverse fixture against Arsenal. If you're a team that's maybe not used to playing in front of the 20,000 tomorrow, what challenges can that bring? You know, managers have spoken about suddenly when you've got that atmosphere, getting instructions to your players can be harder. So what will they have to get used to in a sense?
Yeah, that's maybe one side of it. I think the pitch is big, the pitch is going to be good, the ball will move quickly, there will be more noise, there will be a lot of red and white, obviously, always at the Emirates cheering us on. So you'll have to deal with that energy in the stadium, because that energy will go towards us and not the opposition. So you have to be able to manage that. And if that's I think it's the first time they play at the Emirates against us. We'll see how they come out and manage that. I can't control that, but we look forward to be at the Emirates again in front of all our fans.
It's the Asian Cup final tomorrow morning. Obviously, you've got the strong Australian contingent as well as your assistant manager, I'm sure, will be cheering them on. How impressed have you been with the players there? I mean, Kyra's obviously, it's been a big thing for her to be back on the pitch. Caitlin Ford has been really impressive. I'm sure you're wishing them, and also Joe Montemuro, who you get on well with, all the best for tomorrow.
Yeah, I look forward, I'm very impressed with their run up to the final. Our players, but them as a team as well. So it's been really nice to follow it, and wishing them all the best. So our 3 players, Joe and the rest of their staff and player group for the final tomorrow. Japan also deserved a spot, of course, in the final. So hopefully it will be a really good game of football. We've been missing our 3 players, so we look forward to getting them back, but look forward for them, and it's a special moment for them to play a final tomorrow.
And can I just check, I'm guessing the Chelsea first leg is too early for them? When's the plan for them to be back in action?
Yeah, so they'll be travelling and getting back in the country on Monday is the plan, and that's a match day -1, so that will be a very short turnaround to then be available for the game against Chelsea.
Right. Hi Renee. 6 months since you played West Ham, how do you reflect on the WSL season so far, and what would you have done differently?
Sorry, our season?
Yeah.
We're not at the end yet, so we're constantly reflecting and trying to learn, and like I just said, finding the small margins to become better. I think you always go through stages with your team. We've gone through different stages. What I'm really proud of is what we just spoke about, our humility as a team to always bounce back, to always do the humble actions, to always try to learn and be better. And that's one of the big strengths of this team, how we do that all together as a staff and player group. So that's one thing I'm really proud of. Of course, we have a couple of draws in the league where we're disappointed, where we lost those points, but now we can only look forward. I think we've been working really hard to get to the point where we are now, and we need to keep on working hard because everyone is growing, and the games that we have left in the league, they're all so important, and it starts tomorrow with West Ham.
And just on a quick minor point, will you be cheering on Mikael Arteta's side on Sunday?
I think I'll make it home. Yeah, it will be a recovery day, so I'll definitely be watching. I won't be in the stadium. I won't make that, but it's of course a very special moment. I think it's very special to be a part of Arsenal, and I think they've been fantastic this season so far. So it's of course I watch all the games, and it's great that they took themselves to a final. So I'll definitely be watching, and of course I'll be cheering them on.
Great, we'll come through to the call for a few quick ones. Rose, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, hi Renee. Can you maybe talk us through the goalkeeping situation? Because Daphne van Domslaar is probably not used to being on the bench for a club and country much.
Yeah, of course, Duff had to go through a hard time with a heart injury, tendon issues, which can take a long time, and that's of course been disappointing for Duff. If you look at last season, she was consistently available and did really well for us. Duff is a top goalkeeper, so we had to be without her. Now she's back and she's building back. But we have other goalkeepers as well, and if you look at Anneke Borba, how well she's done since her debut against Liverpool at the Emirates. That was her first competitive game for us, and the way she's been growing and developing in our environment, it's been fantastic. So we are privileged to have so many good goalkeepers here with us. Unfortunately, Manuela out with an injury, but we have Daf, Anneke, Naomi, and Bara with us, which is great. It's a great setup, and they're competing and making each other better and stronger every day. So we're in a position where we look at who's most ready to play and who's most ready to perform. But we also know, like with outfield players, we need everyone across the season. So, but I'm happy that Daf is back on the pitch and that she's training. Just needs to build her rhythm, and but she's been doing really well, and so has Anneke as well.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe more of an off-the-pitch question, but it's Neurodiversity Celebration Week. So that's ADHD, autism, dyslexia, etc. What's your view as a coach to make neurodivergent players thrive as much as possible?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, because if I look at a player group, 25 different individuals, you cannot treat everyone the same. We have to have discipline as a team, and there's certain standards and expectations for everyone. But everyone is different, so everyone learns differently. Everyone communicates differently. So yeah, that's part of a big role of a big part of my role. To be able to see, understand every individual, and I think it's good that the awareness is there, and that the stigma hopefully goes with that. But I think it's important for everyone to always be curious about someone and seek understanding before you judge or make assumptions. So, and that's what we try to do. And it's I think part of the charm of the role as well, to be able to work with different personalities. But the awareness around neurodiversity is very important, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
All right. I want to start with a question sort of about like a sort of wider women's football question, because yesterday the news came out that FIFA ruled that going forward, I think starting from the next World Cup and then moving on after that, for teams to participate in their competitions, they must have either a female head coach or like a female assistant coach on the bench. And yeah, I just wonder what you made of that ruling and the general sort of state of the, I guess, like pathways for female coaches at the moment, as obviously a female head coach yourself?
Yeah, so what has been important for me in my journey is role models, female role models, and having the opportunity to educate. So I've been very fortunate to UEFA for scholarships and mentorship programs, and that's really helped me in my journey. So that's been great. I think in an ideal world, it's not a talking point, but it is a talking point, and it's something that I think everyone wants to achieve equal opportunity. And looking at what we then need to do to give equal opportunity, sometimes you need to inject, and sometimes you need to put some regulations in place to make that happen. I think I'm very proud to be part of Arsenal, where there's so many women in roles. So with Claire and Jodie, Kelly, Melissa, there's a lot of women working at a really high level here at the club, and I think it's really good that the opportunities are given. But yeah, like I said, in an ideal world, hopefully in the future, this is not a talking point. So there's equal opportunity regardless of gender.
And just a second one from me. Today, Arsenal posting photo showing Katie Reid back on training on grass again, going through her ACL recovery. There was a clip that did the rounds of basically of Katie, Michelle, and Emmanuel together. I was just wondering, like, as much as obviously you don't want to see any player get injured, and it's difficult for all those players, it must be, first of all, you must still be in regular contact with those players, and is it not, are they kind of, it seems like they're all supporting each other. That's the sense I get. That must be helpful for them in a way that they're all in similar situations, similar kind of timelines as well, I guess.
Yeah, so they have each other. Of course, we don't want those injuries, but now when they are in this situation, they have each other and they support each other. They have a big support system around them as well, with the medical performance staff and others in the club supporting. So that's really good. So Katie made that a really great step. It's a milestone coming out onto the pitch. The sun was out, so it was a beautiful moment for Katie being on the grass again, and the girls were cheering her on, and so it was a great moment. And so it's good that they have each other. Of course, the injuries aren't exactly the same, the timelines aren't exactly the same, so sometimes it's not all linear, and someone makes the next step and the other one has to wait a little bit, and that can be difficult sometimes, but there's mostly benefits of them doing it together, supporting each other.
Great, thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max. And lastly, Joe.
Hi there, Renee. Nice to see you. Just piggybacking on what Max said there about the question about FIFA's announcement. I was wondering, you touched on your experiences when you were coming through and learning the trade. Do you feel that pathways for female coaches have improved? Have you noticed changes since you were learning?
I do see more women and female coaches around me, so that's really good. And not only coaches, also in other roles. So that's really positive. I think the network where I am, I see coach educators, I see opportunities, I see with national teams, with club teams at all different levels. I see it growing, which is great, and I see federations making efforts to make this happen, and that's really good. I think what's important, like I said, I had role models. I saw that it was possible. There were only a few, but there's more now, which is good. So hopefully the next generation, they believe that this is a pathway and can be confident and brave in those moments. They don't have to question, or they don't have to think twice, but it's a pathway, and hopefully that's what we can give the next generation. That's what I'm very mindful of as well, that I can play that role now. So I was part of the mentorship program, for example, from UEFA. We had a mentor and mentee over this week here as well. So I feel like I need to play that role to open up spaces and pathways for the next generation. And I think that's happening. So that's really positive.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that it shouldn't really be a talking point. And ideally that's the situation we want to move towards. We were speaking to Mark Skinner this morning, and he said that his feeling was that because the game has become increasingly more professional over the last few years, and it's made it more possible, and perhaps that's why FIFA have taken a step. Is the ruling that FIFA put in something you think would be good to be employed in the WSL as well? Are we at that stage yet?
I think FIFA is looking at what they can do to help create pathways, open it up. If that's a regulation they see is of benefit, then that's positive, I think. If you look at, like I just said, at Arsenal, the amount of women working here, I think I would love for the league to strive for more female coaches, head coaches. That would be great. So anything we can do, whether that's through centralized regulations or whether that's through influencing and role modeling, I think those are very powerful as well. At least for me, that through actions and by making things visible, that's an inspiration for clubs or for decision makers to go into that direction as well. So that's been very beneficial and powerful for me.
Brilliant, thank you so much. One final question, if you'll indulge me on something different. It's one of the role models in your team. I'm interested in how you've used Alessia Russo this season. At times deploying her as more of a central number 9 striker. Other points you brought her back into the number 10. I wonder if you could just explain a little bit of your thinking behind that, and if possible, where you think is her best position.
I have, of course, the pleasure to work with Alessia. She's fantastic to work with. And then I have a big squad with different qualities. So we are looking at how does this all cement together, looking at the qualities that we have in the squad, but also the opposition and the type of games we're going to play. So that's all going into certain decisions and how we put teams together and partnerships together on the pitch. It's been great. Alessia has done this before, playing in the 10 position last season, the season before. She's played other positions when she was younger. She's such a good player. So we think, for me, she can be really good in the 9 and she can be really good in the 10. And sometimes she'll start in the 9 and she comes down into the 10 because we want her qualities in that space. Or the spaces in the box are around those areas, and sometimes it's the other way around. So we're in a really good position where we have so many good players, where we can make all these decisions. If I would only have 11 players and Alessia in my squad would be the 9, then she would constantly be playing in the 9. But now this is part of our strength, I think, the size of the squad that we have and the different qualities, so we can pick and choose in what moments we do what with the personnel on the pitch. Yeah, she's fantastic to work with. So and I think she's played more in the 10 role this season, and playing more in that position also made her more confident and understands the role better, which is great. And if you look at the output that she has with 19 to 20 goal scoring contributions, I think already this season, that's at a really high level. So wherever she comes from and what position she starts in, she's very effective and productive for us, if you look at that, and then also out of possession. So yeah, she's great to work with.
She's very useful to have, isn't she? Thank you ever so much. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. We'll leave it there.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers.